Washington, a nice young man, a lie he wouldn't tell. But when he chopped the cherry tree, his father gave him hallelujah, 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 good glory in my soul. I took Miguel walking out on the prairie dale, and when the old folks found it out, you bet they gave us hallelujah, 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 good glory in my soul. My mother take to washing, she does it very well, and when they fail to pay her, you bet she gives them hallelujah, 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 good glory in my soul. Conductor blew the whistle, the fireman rang the bell, and the brakeman hollered all on board, and away we went to hallelujah, 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 good glory in my soul. All right, we're going to get started here with the measure-by-measure breakdown of George Washington. First things first, let's make sure we're in the right tuning. We're in the F tuning today, so that means from the 5th string on down to the 1st, the notes of your strings should be in this order: F, D, G, C, D. Once you got the tuning all squared away, we can go ahead and jump into this arrangement. The thing to remember about all these F tunes is, unlike a lot of Clawhammer Banjo tunings, this one is not really open per se. Our home chord is not primarily open strings. It's going to be primarily fretted, and our home chord is an F, and it looks like this. We'll be playing out of this shape a lot throughout the tune and the other two primary chords. So while we're here, another common chord here is this B flat. It's going to look like this. And then your C is going to look like this. Alright, so with that in mind, we'll take a look at measure number 1 now. We're holding down this one chord shape. We're going to be working out of the chord shapes through most of this tune. So here's measure 1. Here's how it looks and sounds. Take a look at measure number 2. We're still working over that F chord shape, and we're starting with that same hammer on. So we have is a hammer on, a boom note, a phantom stroke, and another boom note. Boom, boom, chicka, boom. Of course, on that chicka, got a phantom stroke, so we're missing that string there on purpose. Alright, that takes us to measure number 3. Here we're moving over to our 4 chord, the B flat chord. And we're playing out of there. So with this hammer on here, we're going to pick up this 2nd fret note off out of our chord shape. See, I kind of brushed through that whole chord, or most of the chord there. You can do that, or you can just get refined and play that specific open 2nd string exactly as it's written in the tab, or you can kind of give a brush to the whole chord with that 2nd fret opened up, and then come down with the hammer on. one will work. Alright, that's enough on the third measure. Let's move on to measure number 4. We're back to our F chord, our home chord here, starting on that open second string. It's a nice merciful measure here with just a couple boom chicka strums, no hammer-ons or anything else going on. And it fits right into that chord shape. So we keep that chord shape here for the 5th measure. And now we're just doing 2 boom chickas where we're focusing that boom note on the 4th string. So that takes us to measure number 6, and you'll notice that measure number 6 is almost exactly like measure number 2. We're going to start off the same way. Then we end slightly differently there. We're playing the 2nd fret on the 2nd string this time, which differs from the 2nd measure there. And this is a knockdown in this case as opposed to the boom note. So almost the same as the 2nd measure. So if you have the 2nd measure down already, this should be pretty easy to adapt into this one. One more time. And measure number 7 is 4 straight boom notes. A little walk down here. And that walks us right on down to measure number 8, where we get back to our 1 chord here. Again, boom chicka, boom chicka. Again, just working right out of the chord. Some familiar movements there. That same old hammer on right there on the 3rd string where we've opened up that 2nd fret note. That should be pretty self-explanatory for you by now at this point in the lesson. So we'll move on to measure number 9. And again, this is going to look a lot like measure 6 and measure number 2 with just a little bitty variation there. Measure 10, we're back on that B flat chord, so we're going to move that whole shape over again. One more time on measure number 10. I'll move on to measure 11. We're still up on this B flat chord shape. This takes us to measure 12. Back to the F chord shape, back to our home chord. It's the boom chicka with a phantom stroke to start the measure. Then another boom chicka there. Measure 13 is a repeat of measure 6, so you should be ready for this one. And that takes us to measure 14. So measure 14, if you'll notice, is the same as measure 7. We've just, instead of treating it with straight boom notes, we're going to do that in the knockdown style, also known as the double thumb there, where we just fill in between those boom notes with a 5th string note. And And that takes us to measure 15, where we're back home on the F chord to wrap up the tune. So nothing new happening in this measure. A couple boom chickas. We're splitting that second boom note by opening up that second fret note. And we wrap the whole song up, measure 16 there, just hitting that 4-string boom note.
Now I'm going to play the whole thing for you nice and slowly, just as it's written in the tab.
All right, have fun with this. Go make some noise. I'll see you in the next video.